Welcome everybody, Tim Bartz here, Law McArthur Ford in Salina, Kansas for this week's live stream. It is March 8th, 2022, so we're into March now and we're going strong here. So I do want to thank everybody for joining me today in today's live stream. Of course, welcome all the people that have joined me, plus especially the members that are in the house here. It looks like we got a lot of people in the stream here. You got Mark, you got Ridgeview, of course, my moderator. He's here every week with us. Richard, we have, let's see, Patricia, I think I saw her in there, Clarence. So welcome to all the members. So if you aren't subscribed yet, don't forget, hit that red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed to the channel and hit that notification bell so that way you can get notified the next time we have another video uploaded to the YouTube channel. So I appreciate that. All those that are subscribed. Also, don't forget, if you want to become a member, this week I remembered to put the link down in the description. You can do that. It depends on what device you're watching this on, whether it be your phone or whether it be you have it streamed onto your TV, whatever it might be, your computer, whatever. It's in different locations. But if you go down to the link down in the description, click that join button. Once you click on there, you should be able to see the join button and features there. Click on that. You can learn a little bit more information about what we do here with the members. We do some fun things on throughout the week, a couple different posts, including a lot walk, and talk a little bit about some backgrounds about the dealership and that kind of thing in those videos as well. And we got I got some things planned coming up as well. We have a farm show coming up real soon. So you guys will probably be hanging out with me at the farm show. I like to go all 3 days at the farm show and talk to people and customers, educate them a little bit about trucks, about, F-150 Super Ds. We will have a Maverick there, even if it's the owner's a Maverick, we'll have it there as well, so we can talk Maverick stuff. We know a lot of people like talking about it, even if they have other vehicles. They kind of want to see those and talk about them, so we'll have a lot of fun there. So definitely have some fun there. So also, don't forget, we are going to be recording this as a podcast, so I'll throw a audio format onto our podcasting platform. I use Podbean, but it does cast out to about all the different podcasting sites. If you're not subscribed to any of them, don't have to be. If you want to still watch the live stream, you can go to our website. Link is in the description, or you can go to lawmcarthur.com/fordvideoguy and watch it or listen to it there at your leisure if you want to do that as well. So you can check that out. Now, if you have any questions, you can see the question links down below, fordvideoguy@gmail.com. I did a really good job last week on Wednesday of freeing up that clutter and having those Wednesday and Thursday, having all those messages cleared out of there, and haven't had a chance to get in there since. I've been real busy, and so I'll try to do that again tomorrow and get and answer any questions that are in there. So a lot of people dropping those questions. If you have any sales related questions, want to work with the dealership here, send those to the timothybartz@gmail.com there. Bartz with the Z, by the way. So a couple videos that dropped this week that I wanted to tell everybody about. Recently we did a 22 F-150 Lariat complete guide videos. Now the complete guide videos are the ones that probably I do the best. I like going over those, where I cover all the standard equipment is different, optional equipment, different packages, everything, standalone options in those videos. They're really long. That 22 Lariat video is an hour and a half. So that tells you that I am very thorough on that, just like I am with these as well. So you can check out that video. It's linked down in the description, as well as we did a one on the price protection, how to complete the price protection. So I took last week's video and then I went ahead and put that out there as its own video. As you probably, some of you watched that. We had our sales guys watch that exact video as well in their sales training this week on Monday and Tuesday. So we'll probably do the same thing. So you might see parts of this live stream cast out, because there's some good stuff we're going to talk about tonight. I'm really looking forward to tonight's live stream. Good stuff here. So we'll probably do the same thing tomorrow, and possibly a couple days this week, putting some of that information out there for everybody else, so they don't have to watch the entire live stream. If they want to join in here and hang out with the group here, then they can watch those little clips where I talk about those different things. Also, yesterday, 22 Bronco Raptor complete guide as well, where I covered all what's standard on a Raptor, Bronco Raptor, as well as the different equipment groups you get, and then also what different options there are for you if you want to upgrade that as well in that video. This week we do have the 22 Ford Edge SC complete guide video. Actually, Sarah has that one edited. I just need to go in there. That'll probably go live tomorrow. Just need to make that go live. And then also ST Ed, or the 22 Edge ST line video that is done. Not sure how Sarah's actually out. I think she got what I had last week to this week, so she has that. So she's actually out today. Hopefully she's feeling better. If not tomorrow, then we'll get that video edited, and it'll be probably sometime between now and next Tuesday before when we'll have that video go live as well. Also, we're going to be on Facebook Live this week, Thursday night again, 6 p.m. Link is in the description. That is for this week's Facebook Live, so you can click on that, and that's where you can find that link. Go in there. If you're on Facebook, you can come in and join me. That's pretty much just a Q&A session. Not a lot of updated news and such, just strictly, ask me your questions, and I'm there to answer you. We pick up about an hour in there. Also, this last week, I was able to jump in with Larry Lynch. He is a YouTuber that does electrified, he does a lot of videos on electrified vehicles and does a great job. I've watched some of his videos as well on lightning and different things. And we did a Zoom session together where he asked me some questions, and I went on, and he's got he's starting to do a video podcast. I'm not sure how often he's going to do it, like once a month or every other week or something. And I got a chance to be the first person. So the link is in the description for that video. He's calling it All Charged Up. So it's the first episode for that. So Larry's a really good guy, and I really enjoyed being on there and chatting with him about the F-150 Lightning in there as well. All right, let's dive in and talk about scheduling for this week. So what is scheduling this week? Nothing scheduling this week except for the EcoSport. EcoSport's the only thing that's scheduling, and it's pretty much the last week of scheduling for the EcoSport. It's balancing out completely this week, I believe, and so there's going to be no scheduling. And on top of that, there's going to be no Lincoln scheduling until March 24th. March 24th, Thursday, March 24th is the next time Lincoln will have any vehicle lines scheduling. So Lincoln's pretty much on almost shut down for a little bit right now, switching things over to job order 2 on a lot of their vehicles and models, so no scheduling for any of the Lincolns for a while. What's going on? Let's go over some scheduling notes. So some other things I want to talk about. We're going to get into the wholesale, what we call wholesale, but I should change the title of this live stream to March production information, because people are like, what's wholesale mean? That's the terminology that we use in the car business. I need to always remember that it's not information that but I will share some of that information from Ford reps come by, share information on production so we know what's going on as dealers. Guess what was covered on this week? One of the things that was covered this week was the price protection program for all the dealers. So hopefully they're getting that information last week as well as this week. I think she's been learning to come to our dealership first because she knows that I like to have that information firsthand. But anyway, so we're going to go over that here in 22 minutes here. But until then, let's talk about some other scheduling notes. According to Ford Authority, there's some Mustang options that now are going to be available, which were late availability items, but now are available to schedule, and that is the Coastal Limited package and the Mach 1 handling package, plus the rear seat delete that is available on the Mach 1 handling package. So good to know. Didn't know that. Haven't actually gone in there and looked at that. I don't think we have any orders in there with those packages on them yet. And then also Brittany Blue, Eruption Green, and Mischievous Purple are available now, or late availability colors as well. So pretty cool. And we did get it. Actually, for those of you who are curious, we got a whole truckload of Mavericks today. In fact, I think we received 6 Mavericks today, and then we had 2 truckloads come by. One truckload dropped off 5 Mavericks, a Bronco, and a Lincoln Nautilus, all sold vehicles. And then, and yes, Stevens was one of them. I just saw his message pop up here. His was one of them. So his was actually one of the first vehicles set up off of the truck this morning. So he set that one up, and so that's getting all set up. And I think he's getting some stuff put on it. And then also then they also brought another truckload of some other vehicles, including 1 Maverick on it, as well as 2 more Broncos, a Bronco Sport. And then they says, I know our used car, or our new car setup guy, he actually is really good relationship with the drivers, and he goes, well, I got another load. I'll go get another one and bring it back to you guys. So we received 4 more, I think 4 more Mavericks that came in late this afternoon as well. Haven't had a chance to look those over. I'll look those over in the morning to see what those are. But so we'll have 4 more Mavericks. So we'll have 10 Mavericks between today and tomorrow come in, which is good news. We're seeing that. And the driver did tell him they have a whole bunch of them up there in Kansas City, different lots all over in Kansas City that are parked needing to be shipped here. So they're there, they're getting built. We just need shipment help there to get it to us. So I do want to here in about 10 minutes we'll talk about the Is It True. I do want to change it. I moved it back 10 minutes to give me some time to talk about some other things, just so you're aware. Instead of 15 after, it's or 15 minutes. That timer gets to 15 minutes. We're going to do it at 10 minutes for the Is It True. I think you'll like it as well. But sorry, that's where my mind went. If I just kind of was like, where'd that come from? That's the way I work sometimes. On the Bronco, so a couple things I want to talk about for Bronco. Ford did release a memo, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, about price increase. So Ford Bronco did get a price increase for job order 2. Some of you didn't realize Bronco did shut off. They closed off orders as of yesterday. Was the last day you could put in a 22 model year Bronco order. Just like with the Maverick, it's selling out. They want to make sure these are getting produced for 22 model year. So they did close that off. And job order 2, which is basically the reason they close it off, is they're going to switch it to job 2. Job 2 will get price increases. And I guess as some of us are going like, well, what's the use of that? If all the orders have to be in, they're price protected, why a price increase? Well, if you make any changes to your orders, it can affect your pricing. So for those of you that have a Bronco, kind of talk about a little bit about how that works here and what you're going to see here. In fact, I'm going to throw up a graphics here. See if I get this right. There you go. So there's some of the price increases on the Bronco. So that first column there are people that are in group 1. So they actually have them in 3 different groups, and I'll go over those. Group 1 are people, read it right out of here. So group 1 are customers who placed a reservation or an order prior to March 19th, 2021. You're kind of locked into the original pricing, the 21 pricing. So when it rolled over to 22 and your order rolled over, these are the prices that you were able to keep because they did not do that. They raised the prices just that much, but they gave you a price protection for the prices. Now, what's going to happen to your order at this point on is that column 1 is going to be, if you're in that category and you're in group 1, that's going to be a private offer that comes to you now. So when the dealership pulls a Smart Vincent, you should see that as a private offer amount, and then the dealer should honor those other prices, the job order 2 pricing, when your vehicle actually gets built and comes in. So now customers that are in group 2 and 3, group 2 are customers that have placed an order without a reservation after March 19th, 2021. So basically any orders that came in after March 19th of 2021, so within this last year basically, they are going to get they're not going to be affected by that mid-year pricing as well. So that same way as it's going to be like I talked about last week, where the dealership will need to honor that price, and then the dealer will get this money back on their parts statement. In fact, it actually mentions in here. So here's the note to the dealer. It says, consistent with Ford retail order pricing price protection process, make sure customer orders are accurate because changing, we will talk about some changes too, basically they're going to get these mid-year prices. So basically you're going to do the price protection the same way as it was before. So that's it's going to work that way. So basically, they are saying any changes to your Bronco order, though, can affect and give you the new pricing. So just like with Maverick, if you changed your order, it moved your order date back. On the Bronco, it's going to give you a price increase. So you want to make sure if you have a Bronco order out there, you want to make any changes, you need to try to make them by March 11th. So March 11th, because it says right here that make sure customer orders are accurate, because changing series, which would be your base, Big Bend, Outer Banks, Badlands, that's your series. Your equipment packages, that'd be your mid package, high package, Lux package. Number of doors, so 2-door, 4-door, or the 4x4 system. So if you want the standard 4x4 or the advanced 4x4, making any changes like that after March 11th will give you the mid-year pricing levels. So you will get these other prices. These prices here will be affected to your order, and you won't be able to price protect if you make any of those changes after March 11th. So figure out what you want, keep to it, so you can be price protected and not lose that anywhere from $1,250 to $2,000 when it comes to two-door Badlands or Wild Track. So keep that in mind there. So that's how that's going to work. I think I covered everything on that. So if you have, of course, any questions, you can chat about that. But all in all, try not to make any changes to your Bronco orders. That will help you out. Talking about Explorer, Explorer with the premium technology package, which is standard on the King Ranch and Platinum, as well as the plug-in hybrids will not be scheduled anytime soon. So, of course, we're not scheduling this week, but they're saying those any orders with the premium technology package will not get scheduled, as well as the plug-in hybrid Explorers are not scheduling as well. Edge orders with adaptive cruise control will take longer. And then also the rear seat entertainment is balanced out. So you're not able to add it, not able to select it whatsoever, and probably not going to be scheduling too many of those. As well as the Bronco Sport Badlands with the premium package will take longer to schedule. So those are things we've actually mentioned in the past, but I always like to make sure I mention it. So I might take just a quick little break. I got 5 minutes here. I want to talk about a couple things before we get into our Is It True for this week, but I do want to answer the quick little questions. There is Clay had a question here. Hi, Tim. Do you think Ford will complete all the first editions soon or drag it out till the end of production? I'm not sure what their timing is on first editions. I will tell you that first edition package can only be put on a vehicle in the 22 model year, so they will make sure those do get produced, so they will get selected. We have, I think, 6 more that need to be scheduled out of ours. So I mean, feel free if you know you have a first edition, feel comfortable, it will get produced. Shouldn't have to worry about that. All right, so let's talk about Ford in the news. So I do have links to these articles in the description on these two. So one of the things that happened was Ford had the F-150 Lightning up in Alaska. They were testing it in the cold weather, mainly not necessarily for the battery capabilities in the cold weather, but for the capabilities of the vehicle in the snow and in the ice and those types of conditions. So there's an article there and a cool little video where they interviewed some of the Ford Lightning product people there. And so it's pretty cool little article and video if you want to check that out and after the stream and enjoy that. As well as there's also a link to an article about stock inventory changes. So that is actually something we've talked about. Actually, I got the article here. So again, it's linked down in the description, but I want to read off part of it. So Ford dealers will get, it's basically saying Ford dealers will get rewarded for selling vehicles under the new plan, selling them quickly under the new plan. So basically, they're saying they're going to be rewarding dealers for doing fast turn incentives and such like that. But the biggest thing is they're not going to be allowed for, dealers aren't going to be allowed to configure as many different types of vehicles on dealer lots anymore. You go to a dealer lot and try to buy a vehicle now, for one, it's going to be hard to find one right now, but even in the near future, they're going to limit what configurations you can have to stock on your lot. So like even on the Escape, there's going to be some trim levels not even available. Mustang Mach 1 is one of them. You cannot have, a dealer cannot order a Mustang Mach 1 to sit on your lot. Not available. The only way you can get a Mach 1 is if you custom order one. So that's the way that's going to have to go. And there's going to be some other vehicle lines that are the same way where you're not going to be able to see one on the lot and that kind of thing. So a plug-in hybrid Escape may be one of them as well, that kind of thing. Of course, we haven't seen one of those on our dealership lot. Well, I can't think of any time actually, to be honest. So, but you're going to see that's kind of the change that they're going to. They basically quoted in here, Ford's plan is to significantly trim inventory and speed up turns moving forward, which will in turn increase profitability. The chip shortage prompted this permanent change to the automaker's business, which includes a shift towards more of a build-to-order model, a reduction in dealer inventory and fewer configurations of each vehicle sitting on lots. So we're already seeing that going. They've already it's called a reframing, and we're already in the middle of that right now. There's certain models that you only have certain capabilities of that. All right, so how does Michael said, how does dealer allocations affect Maverick retail orders? Allocations. We're still getting allocations, so it shouldn't affect any of the Maverick dealer orders. I will tell you this month, none of the vehicle lines are scheduling this week, but that doesn't affect for the rest of March. So actually next week is the first week of scheduling for March production or March scheduling. So we have, I'll get to many allocations we have. We actually don't know a final number. We have preliminary numbers. We're hoping those numbers are not even accurate, but we'll get into that in just a little bit. I have 30 seconds. Maverick prices. I did want to show you this real quick. I did get this. Boom. So there you go. If you guys wanted those, take a quick picture of that. Of course, I'll make this available. I did put this on social media. There's your old prices. There's your new prices. So that way, if you have price protected, you want to know those prices. There are those prices for you. You want to make sure you guys have access to that. And I can always pop that up a little bit later as well. There you go. So that was last week. We kind of discussed that and talked about it. So, all right. So this week's Is It True? Some of you, before I get into the Is It True, I want to talk about the Ford Blue and Ford Model E. If you guys didn't see this, Ford decided to separate their EV business from their ICE business, which is their internal combustion engine business. And so there's an article on Automotive News, a little bit about this, and with an article from, quote from Jim Farley. So, Ford is separating those two businesses to make it more increase profit margins and getting engineers, developers, and designers and developers more focused on the unique needs of each powertrain. So EVs, which the automaker now expects to account for 30% of its global sales within 5 years, within 5 years and half by 2050. So or 2030, I mean. So they expect it to be 50% of their business by 2030. So I had to read that a little bit differently. How will be part of a unit called Ford Model E. So electrified vehicles are going to be called Ford Model E in that department, while the combustion unit will be called Ford Blue. So the two units, along with the recently created Ford Pro commercial unit, will collaborate in some areas but largely operate independently. So Ford's basically wanting to do that because their focus is that they can have their people focus in on developing and enhancing the EV business so that they can come to market and do some things differently. So with this, a lot of people are really thinking, is Ford going to change how they're going to do business when it comes to electrified vehicles? Are they going to now be able to do it like Tesla's doing and that kind of thing? So there is some talk about that. So let me read some of this. Our legacy organization has been holding us back. Farley said on Wednesday's conference, we had to change. Ford also said it's planning big changes for their dealer body. The automaker wants a certain number of retailers to opt in quotations, opt in to selling EVs under a new set of standards that will include carrying no inventory, selling at non-negotiable prices, and being held to fewer facility requirements. Ford plans to discuss the upcoming changes with dealers over the next 2 months before finalizing standards. So his quote here says, our message to dealers is, we're betting on you. Get ready to specialize. So that tells you right there that they plan on using dealerships. They plan on having the EV be dealers. So they still want that dealer model and having the dealers help them deliver these EV vehicles and have them serviced and be able to show people how to use their EV vehicles and that kind of thing. But they want the model to change on how it's going to be done. So kind of looking forward to it. We've always bought into anything Ford's done when it came to the Lincoln side, and Lincoln having black label. We bought into that. We are the only black label dealer in the state of Kansas, and I don't even know if they have one in Colorado, because we have a lot of people from Colorado come and buy Lincoln black labels from us. So we bought into that. So when they decided to do EV, we became an EV certified dealer. And that kind of thing. So we're kind of looking forward to that. So one of the things, there's another article came out, and that's where my Is It True comes into play here, is, actually, where's my notes? I think I put it over here. I'm going to need that. There we go. Okay. So one of the article came out, says Ford dealers will be asked to specialize as part of reorganization, and it made it sound like the dealers are going to have to choose whether or not they want to sell the ICE vehicles or the EV vehicles, and I don't think that's where Ford's going. So let me read some of this part of this article, because as you read further, they kind of clarify a little bit. So I want to read his excuse me, Jim Farley's quote here. He says, we're going to do it by asking them to specialize. Ford CEO Jim Farley said in response to a question about how Ford dealers will be impacted by the reorganization. Our dealers may be a Ford Pro dealer. If they're going to be an electric dealer, they're going to have new standards. In the next 60 days, we're going to be out talking to all of our dealers around the world and developing a pithy list of standards for new experiences that are going to be better than Tesla. It'll have to catch up in certain ways like digital remote, no inventory, but it's going to be better in other ways. And that will be through our dealer network. So again, the plan is he wants to use the dealers in using the dealer network. And the real message to our dealers is get ready to specialize. You may be Lincoln, you may be Ford Pro, you may be electric, you may be an ICE dealer in rural America. That's fine. Get ready to specialize. So sounds like to me that he's going to allow for those dealers like us to be able to sell EV dealers, but under new standards. So we're going to have to adhere to certain standards, which I'm good with that because we are selling, our Mach-E's and our Lightnings at MSRP just like they recommend. And they want all dealers to do that. I think the current model and the way it has is they can't really tie the dealers to that. But once they are bought into the Ford Model E plan, they have to adhere to those restrictions or have some major repercussions like losing that altogether if they don't adhere to that. So I'm looking forward to that. I really think that's something that will really work. And so, I'm looking forward to seeing what he's going to come up with the next couple of weeks. But I really don't believe the dealers have to choose between one or the other. Just like with now, we have the Pro version. Is those fleet customers. We have a specialized fleet salesperson. Just like with our Lincoln, we have a dedicated, what do we have? 1, 2, 3. I think we have 3 or 4 specialized Lincoln salespeople. And same way with the Lightning. We have 2 EV sales guys that are focusing in only on our EV, Mach-E, and Lightning orders. May have to add some people here in the future if they get more vehicles. And then even on the Bronco. When Bronco came out, we said we want some dedicated Bronco sales guys that know Bronco inside and out and can be able to give our customers that information and know that information and really devote to the Bronco model. And so we have dedicated Bronco specialists as well. So that's where that's going. We've already adopted into that, and so we're really excited about that. So so I think that'll be really good and how that works out. I just want to make sure I hit my key points here that I wrote down here. But the article to both of these, I'll put those in the description here after this video is over. I'll drop those in there. But it says, will dealers have to choose? Just like in here, we're the only Lincoln dealership when it comes to Central Kansas and Western Kansas. Same way with EV, we're the only EV certified Ford dealer in the Central Kansas as well as Western Kansas. If people are driving through, I-70 is a pretty big highway. People are driving through. They need somewhere to be able to stop, charge their vehicle, or if they have an issue with their electric vehicle, they're going to need a dealer to help them with that. So I think Ford wants the dealers, and I think that'll be good. So I think I covered everything else, part of that. All right, so let me get back to some other things, some other news that I wanted to cover. One of the things that we noticed this week, we had a customer that was getting a bed cover put on, and it looks like we're seeing the price increase on the Mavericks, price increase on the bed covers as well. So bed covers did go up $60, it looks like, and if you want it installed, it's $110 if you look at the installed price. So that is the difference. It's an upgrade. I think the website even updated recently. Actually, I think on Ford's website, Build and Price is still showing the price of like $1,100 and something. But if you go to Ford Accessories, it's showing you the upgraded price to like $12 something. So again, it's $60 more. Just to make you guys aware, I would like to keep you in the loop on things like that. And I did see something this week. Okay, I want to show you this new tracking. So I found this popped up. I saw this week, and they said they're adding some things in here for tracking. And this is what you'd see on Vehicle Visibility Report, VVR. And so if you're seeing any of these delays, these are notes that are on the side of what these mean. So anyway, some of them, like it says, delay, volume, you can read it there. The vehicle impacted by low volume based on geographic distribution, a volume surge, mod center capacity issues, that kind of thing. a plant hold. So it's on hold at the plant, or is experiencing a delay with plant release for some reason. Also, you have the sales and marketing hold for some reason. So if they're maybe using some sort of marketing or something, I don't know why you'd have that. But and then normal event like a holiday, weather. Sometimes that happens, especially around Kansas and up north. In transit hold. So the vehicle is experiencing in transit damage, repair, or warranty issue. So if it's on a rail, got damage getting off the rail or something, sometimes it can be held up for that. Convoy carrier. Offloading delays, yard congestion, which I know that is a big deal in Kansas City. Rail carrier, the vehicles are impacted by carrier equipment failure. And, anyway, you have different things there. Delay upfitter. So now they said that one's not expected to show up until March, until late March, but the vehicle is impacted by capacity or other issues at the upfitter, which I am glad they put that in there and they added that one, because that's one that's needed, because a lot of times it says it's at the body company and people are like, why is it there so long? Is there something wrong with my truck? Is, whatever. No, it's just taking a while to get processed through that. So now they can put that status on there and can help us figure out what's going on with your truck there. So that's good. Charles, thanks for becoming a member of the Lawn McArthur crew. Appreciate it. All right. So wanted to show you guys that, and also order scheduling. So I had someone that had asked us. Last week was a cleanup week for orders. So this was something I talked about actually. If you're a member and you watched the lot walk the other day, I actually practiced and rehearsed this. So see how I do. See if I do better than I did on my lot walk. But there are some people that had mentioned last week, which was a cleanup week, that they saw their Maverick, a September Maverick with the exact same build as theirs, that got scheduled, and theirs is like a June or a July order that has still not been scheduled with the exact same build down to the same trim and equipment and such. And they says that doesn't make sense. Ford's not doing them in order and such like that. And just keep in mind, Ford doesn't they don't achieve anything by overlooking one customer's order over another customer's order. They're not going to do that. That's not something that they really want to. They're not going to try to do. So, but what will happen is our Ford rep kind of reminded me of this week, is that if a dealer, let's say if a dealer has 10, let's say they have 10 vehicles that need to be scheduled yet, and because they have maybe a June or July order that is a hybrid that has earned your allocation for that month. So every month we earn allocations based on the orders that we have in there, and if they're trying to get those let's say June and July orders moved out, they're going to look for dealerships. Oh, this dealer has 2 June July orders, so we're going to give them 2 allocations this month so we can try to fulfill those 2 vehicle orders. So what's going to happen is when they go to pull that order, they want to try to pull out those 2 orders, but let's say one of those orders is there and it has a tonneau cover which is constrained, and they're not able to put that into the factory lineup because of that constraint. What's going to happen? Well, they're not going to go ahead and schedule that allocation, and they're going to go ahead and go, okay, well, we couldn't fulfill it this week, we'll try again next week. And then they'll come back next week and they'll try to take that allocation that's left and give it to that order, and they'll try to pull that order. But again, if it still has a constraint item and the factory is still constrained with that, let's say tonneau cover in this case, then again, they won't fulfill that allocation. So that dealer will continue to have that allocation sitting there, and it'll get moved to the next week. And then a lot of times Ford will actually put recommendations on that order of this is why that order couldn't get selected. And so the dealer would have to see in the recommendations in WebDo why those orders didn't get selected, even though they had an allocation. And so then they can call their customer and recommend, hey, you sure you don't want to take off that bed cover? I think yours can get scheduled if we do. And then if they don't take it off, what's going to happen is the last week, cleanup week, they'll come around. If they can't pick that one again because it's a constraint with the bed cover, they're going to move on down and grab an order that might be lower, like in September, that has something that they can fulfill, and so that they can fulfill that dealer's allocations, because they don't want that to get carried over the next week. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's a lot of times that's the situation, and how you might see somebody at one dealership get a September build for that, and maybe not yours that's still sitting there in June, July. Or another situation could be that dealership doesn't have any orders early on. Maybe they didn't have a lot of customers order until September, and that's why a September order was pulled ahead of that customers, because they're earning the allocations based on what they have in their system, based on their region. And so if somebody's in a totally different region, then they may not have, or they might have these allocations over here. So just keep that in mind. There's a lot that goes into it, but I guarantee they're trying to pull those orders as quickly as possible and trying to do it as organized as they can. So just something to think about. So what do you think, members? Did I do a good job? Maybe I did a better job Saturday. Anyway, so I wanted to cover that. And also, let's see here. Our time is up. What time is it? I'm 4 minutes over. We're supposed to be talking about our topic for this week, which I am glad. So now let's talk about the scheduling information for this week, or the production information some things that I learned this week. One of the things that we talked about was there are some models that are not going to be scheduling at all for the entire month of March. So let me talk about those. The Bronco will not be scheduled at all for the month of March. Escape gas and hybrids will not be scheduled for the entire month of March. Mach-E, Ranger, Transit Connect wagon will not be scheduled this week, as well as F-150. Think about that. F-150 are not going to be scheduled this week. Wow, that's a big hurt for Ford. They said they've had just so much. They don't want to have a poor quality coming out of that. And if they produce these vehicles and they're setting for a month, they don't want to take that chance. And so they do not want to produce vehicles. They said they had 26 different companies that defaulted on what they promised they were going to give Ford the factories for the F-150. 26 different companies that defaulted on the supplies to provide to Ford that they said they were going to promise us, and so that is not going to happen. So that's why they're not going to have any F-150 schedules. So that's a big hurt, because when you think about that, what do they build? 15,000 F-150s in a month. That's a big hurt. Ford wants to try to make them as quick as possible, but they're going to have a hard time there. COVP, all vehicle lines must be verified. It was talked about this week, or this month as well. So, that's still the story. You have to have them COVP. I heard about a customer today that ordered a Bronco with us. Then he had talked to this other dealer first and decided to order with us. He got an email from the vehicle that he ordered from. But I said, well, they might have ordered, you might have gotten an email, but that order's not going to be looked at, because he did not sign any form, did not sign an order sheet, did not give him a copy of driver's license. I said, it's not going to get COVP approved or verified, so it's not going to happen. But now, another thing was pretty cool. They talked about the retail percentage of sales. So what percentage of the sales were retail or custom orders? They actually looked into this. And I had a couple that I wanted to kind of highlight. Bronco, 87% nationally of the Bronco sales were from custom orders, so they ordered for those particular customers. So that means the other 13% were people that probably didn't take their Bronco, and so the dealership was able to sell it as a stock one. Here in the KC region, that number was 81%. Bronco Sport, 23% were retail orders. So dealers are getting stock inventory, so that's a model that they've caught up with, and so then they've been able to produce more inventory for stock inventory. We've been able to get some stock inventory. I believe we got a couple today. So that number is a little bit lower. F-150 as well, 32%, 33% within the KC region of the F-150 sales that were custom retail orders. Mach-E, 83 in the KC region as well. We expect that number to be pretty high, just like with the Lightning. Maverick, 81% of the orders are for the customer that ordered the vehicle. So that means only, 19% of the Maverick sales, the customer did not take their vehicle. Now, KC region, 91% of the sales registered were to the actual customer. So only 9% of the Maverick customers did not take their vehicles, basically, and then were sold by the dealership. So we've seen that number pretty close to about that here at the dealership as well. Most of our customers are taking their Mavericks. Don't have a lot of them left out there. Super Duty is 66%, 82 within the KC region. Not surprised by that number. So those are some pretty cool numbers there. So before I get into the rest of this, I want to just take a quick little break and answer a couple questions. Stephen had a question. Tim, will I be able to track my vehicle once it's on transport through the Ford app? No, probably not. Your vehicle, if you use the Ford app, when it stops, it's periodic. It's not going to show it constantly. It's not going to give you a constant report of when your vehicle's moving on the Ford Pass app, but the transport driver should be able to give you some information of and everything. So when we get that all taken care of, but okay, if you okay, yeah, make sure you put Law McArthur in front of it. Tim, that's what I'm wondering about my Bronco that's sitting waiting for on a chip. Its integrity being based. It would have to sit for a lot longer. On the F-150, there's so many more parts, whereas if something's just waiting on a chip, see with the F-150, it's not just chip shortage, it's other part shortages. So that it's kind of hard to put together a truck if it's missing the 4 bolts on the interior or whatever. I don't know what it might be missing, but you know what I'm saying. So there's other parts that's missing other than just chip shortage. If a vehicle's just for a chip, those they'll park, just like with the Bronco. They actually have F-150s and Mavericks doing the same thing. That's not as big a deal. It's that they can't build the trucks completely and put them on the lot just waiting for a chip. They can't even build it because of the part shortage that they're having. Took bed cover off as suggested, as I am price protected on bed cover before price increase if purchased at dealer when vehicle is delivered. No, we can't price match. We don't have to price match on the bed covers. We ask to be taken off. Ford doesn't reimburse us that difference on the bed covers themselves. So when they're asking to take something off, now a full vehicle like the XLT luxury packages and that kind of thing, that is something that is price protected. But when it comes to the bed covers, they did raise the price, from Ford for aftermarket and such, the $60. I mean, so what we're doing for us is we're doing free install. We're covering that, so it's only a $60 more than would it be, but $60 versus getting your vehicle in 2022 versus 2023, probably worth the $60 upgrade charge there. But that's kind of way that we're looking at it is that, you pay $60, we'll do the free install, and pretty much we're both participating in the loss there, because it costs us, it actually costs us about $100 to probably install a bed cover. Typically, that's what service would charge us. We do it in our aftermarket booth, so because they do it in a half an hour instead, so it's more like $50. So with our customers, we're having them pay the increase of the bed cover itself, and we're just paying for the install at no cost there. So that's I don't know how other dealerships are doing it, but that's how we're doing it there. So and then let's see, Jeffrey had after 5 scheduled production weeks in 1 build week, found my window sticker online with blend date of tomorrow, 3/9, no email from Ford or dealership. Yeah, sometimes I'm sure you'll get that eventually, that it's going to be built. You should have gotten an email like when it was to be scheduled to the day, but not always, because mine's been moved several times. So, all right, how do you track a Maverick once it's shipped? The dealership can look that up and track it. I know some people have been able to get like the rail car information and such. I'm not sure. We actually provided with one of our customers the rail car information or the railroad carrier and a number, but that number wasn't a tracking number. So I'm not sure how to find it, but there are some customers out there that are able to track that. So. All right. So. Okay, so back to my news. The other thing they kind of mentioned, they did there's one sheet on market basket formula of how dealers are receiving allocations on some of these models and trims, or some of the models, I should say. And on the Bronco Sport, it says that it's based on, now this is course sales that the dealership has had in previous years, previous months. And it says on the Bronco Sport that 40% of the formula is based on Escape sales, 20% on Edge sales, 15% on Ranger sales, 10% EcoBoost, 8% Explorer, 5% Fusion, and 2% F-150. So on the Bronco Sport, it takes in what you're selling of those other models into the formula of how many allocations you're going to get. On the Maverick, they're figuring that formula on 30% based on the Escape sales that you have had in the past, 30% on Ranger, 15% on Bronco Sport, which we sell a lot of Bronco Sport, so that's good. 15% on EcoSport and 10% on Fusion Hybrids, again, which is a previous model, and getting that formula for how many allocations a dealer will earn. Bronco, it's 50% on Ford sales, 25% on Bronco Sport share of nation, and 25% on 21 model year Bronco allocation. So Anyway, so again, I don't know how he put together all this, but this is just the figures they had. On the Bronco Raptor, they said 60% is based on Bronco allocation, 40% on F-150 Raptor sales share of nation. So we received actually we received 6 Bronco Raptor allocations, 4 for our customers and 2 others that our dealership earned, which one I believe we're giving on over to our customer, and the other I think the owner is going to order one, which he owns a dealership. He can do what he wants. I wouldn't blame him. Probably do the same thing. F-150 Raptor is 75% of Raptor share of nation and 25% F-150 share of nation. And then the Lightning is 50% of F-150 sales, 25% of F-150 hybrid sales, and 25% of total Ford sales. And I don't think that's right. My opinion, we got 2. 3, what did we get? 3? I think we got 3 allocations, and we're like the number 1 F-150 sales dealer, one of the highest volume F-150 sales dealerships in this region. And of course, it would include F-150 hybrid and total sales. And I think we're like number 2 in our region in total sales, or pretty up there. I don't know, whatever. Okay, so I'm not sure how they do that mix, so I'll leave that up to the smarter people in the headquarters. On the Maverick, so they said for this month there are going to be $5,400 that are planned to be built in for this next production cycle. And I think you guys will like this, because in the past it's been 60% EcoBoost, 40% hybrids. It is going to be a 50-50 split now. So 2,700 gas and 2,700 hybrid. That is great news for those of you that are following along, because that means that they are focusing in on the hybrids, and they know that's what they need to do. So those are numbers for May production. So we're talking about May production here, 5,400, which is down from what they were hoping to project. I think they were trying to do 6,000 in April. So that's a little bit lower number, but good news is it's a higher number for hybrid, because before I think it was 6,000 and only like 40% was going to be hybrid. So in this case, they're getting more hybrid, 27 hybrid, 27 gas. So that's good news for those hybrid people out there wanting to get their hybrid scheduled. So I kind of like that. I thought it was great news. Super Duty 7,800 total is what they're looking for. I think this is actually for April production, which is down. They normally do. I think they're wanting to project for 15,000, but at least they're making some Super Duties, unlike F-150s. So spray and bend line, of course, they mentioned spray and bend liner, 5th wheel prep package, adaptive steering, and tonneau covers need to get strapped. They need to get taken off those orders to get scheduled. And then F-150 Lightning, they said 91% of 91% plus they ordered their vehicle online, which you can do on those. They said waves 1 to 4 were showing 47% conversion rate. So they still have half of the people that got a invite that has not converted theirs over yet. That's still 50%. Come on, people, convert yours, orders yours, get it going. Pro and XLT are sold out. Extended range was over 75% of the orders were extended range so far, and the most popular is the Lariat 511A. And then Wave 5 just went out this last week, so that might have something to do with that lower conversion number there. And then emails have been sent out to the uninvited reservation holders that 22 is over, and that 23 model year will be happening this summer. They said March 31st is the deadline for those that did get an invite to convert it over, or they need to go in there and extend their reservation. That reminds me, we have one customer that wanted a Pro. It's sold out, so he does want to extend his to next year. And I think that if he goes ahead and puts the extension in there, we can get one more allocation for this year based on his order. So I need to call him. So anyway, and then also April, May is cleanup waves for 22 allocations for the Lightning. Bronco, tow tech, the trailer tow package, 60% take rate on 30% capacity. So again, if you have a Bronco tow package, take that off. The dealer can add it. Ford, I think, is reimbursing the dealer to pay for some of that cost to have that added on. The only difference in what it is from the factory versus what it is aftermarket is the wiring. So it's a 7-pin from the factory. It's a 4-pin if you get it done at the dealership. That is the big difference. Just so you know that the dealer installed option is a 4-pin wiring. Bronco Raptor retail ordering opens, should be opening now. So you should be able to go in there and get your Bronco Raptors. Basically, I think you can amend your order to the Bronco Raptor. I have not tried it today because I was pretty busy. But allocations are going out to the 21 unscheduled reservation holder hand raisers. Again, we had 4 that are going out to those. And then also they told us Super Duty should be closing out real soon for 22 model year, sometime in March, and F-150 should be coming right after that. And then they also talked about the price protection program as well to all the dealers. So that's something that, something to look at as well there. So. All right, so let's see if there's any questions in here. I know I've been rambling on for 50 minutes now, but some good information. I really enjoyed going through some of that. So really good information there. I got my order sheet on 2/7 for my 22 Lightning. Any idea on estimate delivery? June. Okay, so I got my order sheet on 2/7 for my 22 Lightning. So it needs to be scheduled first, and then once it gets scheduled, then you have a scheduled build date. As long as it gets billed on that week, should be about 4 weeks after that is when you should receive it. But we will get the okay to buy before any of them are going to go out. So we'll find out when that is. We know dealer demos will go out. Wave 1s and Wave 2s now, I believe, have already been scheduled and have scheduled build dates. Wave 3 hasn't, because I haven't received mine yet. So just so you know that. But all right, so James asked, looked at my build on February 23rd. Any idea why they didn't pull it to build? By the way, I dropped bed cover and splash guards on the 11th. Ford looked at my build on February 23rd. And when you say looked at it, do you mean you're in priority 2? Just being in priority 2 doesn't mean they looked at it necessarily. Actually, technically, they look at every order in an algorithm format, but so it's hard to tell if they're looking at it to be scheduled there. But otherwise, I mean, it just depends on when you ordered. You just going to have to wait. We still have, I actually have some numbers on that. So, all right. Johnny asked, have you received plug-in escape and for the May any build? No, we haven't. In fact, I think we have one escape plug-in. We've actually struggled with escape altogether. We've had 12 escape allocations for like 2 months now and have not gotten them fulfilled. So we're back to that dashboard. So escape right here. You have 12 allocations, and actually I think they clumped it together between both escape and escape plugin. But if I remember right, we have at least one order in there for escape plugin. Let's look. Escape. Here we go. Clear that out. Plug in. Oh, actually we have 3 retail orders in there and some stock orders for plug-in, and we don't have none of them are scheduled yet. So yeah, we can't get those scheduled either. Oh wow. Look over for a second, and then all of a sudden I got all kinds of questions here. All right, Tim, please explain the open ordering for Raptor. There isn't open ordering right now, so yeah. So it's basically the people, as I mentioned, that received them. They had to have an order in there. So I think we had about 10 people that raised their hand that they wanted one from early people that had reserved and had. I mean, we have people now that have the orders had to be in last year. March 17th was the deadline, I think, or March 19th of last year to get your reservation switched over to orders for Bronco people. So we have people that have still been waiting and had their order in reservation 6 months prior to that, and those people are the ones that get the Bronco Raptors. So, and then the other dealer allocations, the dealers can get allocations. It's going to be a very small number. Not sure how other dealers are doing them. Ford does recommend it's a good idea to use them if you gain any extra allocations, to use them towards your current customers. And I believe that's what we're going to do as well. So again, our owner is probably going to do one to have, and then the other one we're probably going to use for one of our other customers. We have customers in there that have been waiting for a long time, a year and a half, and so we're probably going to use it for anybody. We had other people that did not get theirs that have raised their hand, and so we're probably going to give that one to them. Is what we're going to plan on doing. So please. All All right. Ranger lead times, 302A, heated seats, still included. Thanks. I'd have to look at the order guide. I haven't looked at the Ranger too closely. Right now, Ranger's not going to get scheduled at all for this month of March, so we know that. So, and I'm not sure on Ranger. On the 302A if heated seats is included, or if it's part of an equipment group. I could look it up. I don't know how long it'll take me to find it. I keep all my order guides tucked away in here. Look at Ranger. Going down to 302A is an XLT. So heated seats is included in the 302A equipment group. Yes, it is. All right. Hi from Houston, Texas. Can you give me a quick rundown of the process ordering from you guys, MAV, financing fees, transportation costs, etc.? Yep. You can order with us. Financing way we're doing is if you finance with us, anything outside of the standard rates, we can do free shipping to you. We have a $500 dealer fee. We're pricing all of ours at any custom order at MSRP. And then again, transportation costs to Texas probably would be free as long as you finance. We do cap it at $1,000 because we're using the money from the lender to pay for the shipping. That's usually how that works. If you want to pay the 0% and just have it shipped or come and get it, fly in, we can pick you up at the airport and drive it back. You can do that as well and still get the 0% and still get MSRP pricing. Right now we can't order Maverick though, so we'll have to wait till August to order your Maverick. We're not even taking any orders based on 22 information because things will change in 23. It may be just some color changes, we may see some equipment changes, but if we take these orders and figure them out and we have these order sheets and then we go to submit them and we can't order them that way, then we're gonna have to call you anyway. So we're waiting to take orders until we see order guides for 23. So Tim, what exactly is Ford Blue? So Ford Blue is the ICE version, the basically your Bronco, basically anything, your internal combustion engine vehicle line is what the Ford Blue is going to be. So they're going to dedicate all those their team, specialized team to those types of vehicles. So they can continue going that way, and they can have a team that's dedicated on the Model E side to the electrified vehicles and advancement of electric vehicles as we go forward. We know there's going to be some other all electric vehicle lineups and other categories. So we'll see how the future comes for that, but that way they can focus in their energy towards that, and those teams can, instead of pulling F-150 people as well as electric EV people from different lineups to do that, they can have these dedicated people that are just going to focus in on that, so they don't have to pull a team from the F-150 lineup and such. All right, this is my build week order tracker. Moved it to in production, and I got my initial window sticker, but not yet an actual build day on the tracker. No email about build day. Cause for concern? Not really. Probably your dealer can look it up for you. Vehicle visibility, they should still be able to look it up and find that for you, but not anything to be alarmed about. Tim, because I have my second Bronco that hasn't been scheduled, can that be converted over to Raptor? No. Your order is not early enough for that. Like I said, we have, first of all, you had to have raise your hand. So Ford would have, if you had a reservation and an order prior to March 19th of 2021, then you would have gotten an email from Ford. So you would have had to have a Bronco on order and been waiting for a long time. Basically what they're doing is rewarding the customers that have been having to wait for over a year and a half for the Broncos to show up. And so they're rewarding those. So emails went out to those people. They basically said, hey, are you interested? You've been waiting for your Bronco for a long time. Bronco Raptor is out. Would you be interested in getting a Bronco Raptor? And then you email back that, yes, I'm interested completely. And then what they did at that point, they took our list and said, okay, so you have 10 people. And I think we had about 10 people that raised their hand and said, I do want a Bronco Raptor from that list. And then at that point, Ford, based on allocations, gave us 4, and so it was the first 4 people based on timeline of when those orders were, and that's how they got those. So at this point, yeah, you put your order in In fact, you've already been scheduled. So it was people that had not been scheduled at all, which is, it's crazy. Here's the funny thing is, we had somebody on our list, happened to be an employee, had somebody on our list that put their order in and had the reservation the first night, first hour that it was revealed in July 2020, maybe even June, had their reservation put in then. And when it came around to order, they wanted the Sasquatch with manual. So they had that order in there, so they still had that early reservation date. Well, when 22 came around where they could add manual, they went ahead and they did that. They have Sasquatch with manual. It's a base. They're calling it a base squatch, right? And so he was waiting, wasn't scheduled. So then all of a sudden it scheduled, finally got scheduled the week after the email went out, and he missed out. So he would have gotten a Raptor. So so yeah, that was crazy, because he would have been one of the top 5, definitely, or top 4, because his timeline was like real early. So he would have been one of the first ones to get a Bronco Raptor, but his vehicle got scheduled the week prior to that email going out and the notification or the release about the Bronco Raptor information. So anyway, I guess that's the way it goes, but that's how you miss it. So Scott said, so they will continue to schedule and build Mavericks, unlike the Ford rep told me today. Correct. They are building Mavericks. They are scheduling Mavericks. We have allocations for next week. They are continuing. It's one of the few vehicles that are scheduling. So for this month, the vehicles that are scheduling are going to be the Maverick. The Super Duty is getting scheduled. Let's see here, because it actually shows for what months they're scheduling for as well. So Mustang is going to be scheduling. They're hoping to build 2,500 units, and if it's for May production. Escape, as I mentioned, not scheduling. Escape plug-in, though, they do plan on scheduling for 355 units. Bronco Sport, 7,000 units in May. So Bronco Sport will continue to schedule this month. Edge, they said no Edge, didn't they? Didn't I say no Edge? Nope, I didn't say Edge. Never mind. So Edge is in here for 3,000 units for April production. Mach-E 0, Bronco 0, Explorer 4,000 units scheduling in May. Expedition 2,550 units in May. Maverick 5,400 units scheduling for May. Ranger 0, F-150 0, Super Duty 7,800 is their goal for April production. Transit Connect Van 400 in May. Wagon 0. E-Transit 100, built out of Kansas City, by the way. And then Transit 1,300 to be produced in May. So those are the ones that are getting scheduled this month. So if that helped you out. So yeah, Maverick is getting scheduled. At this point, we don't know. We've gotten some preliminaries, but we asked for supplements. We need more than what they told us we're going to have. They said that we're going to get 9 allocations. Whatever. So anyway, so hopefully we get more than that, but we'll just have to find out what's happening. But I do like the mix, so hopefully maybe other dealers. I know our region maybe isn't getting a lot of Maverick allocations this month, so maybe other regions are. So if you're in a different region, kudos to you. Anyway, so they will. Yeah. Okay. So Jack asked, so do you know in advance that the transportation truck with vehicles is arriving that day or next day, or does truck just show up unannounced? We have a good relationship with the person that signs off on them when they come in. He's got a really good relationship with a lot of the shippers. And a lot of times what they'll do is a shipper will, like, once they leave Kansas City and they're headed this way, they'll call the dealership and said, hey, I'm headed in with the truckload. Can you have somebody ready for me? So a lot of times it happens like the day of. We don't know that far in advance, but like if they're coming, then they will. Like one of the drivers showed up early this morning and said, yeah, here's a truckload. I said, but I'm headed back to Kansas City to get another truckload of your guys' stuff. And we're like, oh, that's cool. Great. And so we knew he was coming back, but in that situation, but that's just usually just them talking to them. So really just depends there. Me and my wife ordered 2 Mavericks in December. Can we call and get them keyed alike? That's a great question. I don't know. Probably not. Just for the fact too, if you trade one in and not the other, they probably wouldn't want them that way. So I would say probably not. All right, Jeff, will 23 have new colors? I would say yeah. I'd love to see the eruption green. I don't know. How would that look on a Maverick? Some colors look good on some vehicles and some don't. But yeah, there'll probably be some new colors in 23. I mean, every model has at least 3 new colors, it seems like, with 3 expired colors that are going away. Of course, we know the Rapid Red won't be available as a first edition color anyway, but it won't be available next year. It's been taken away from most of your vehicle lineup already. So we know that's going to go away. So we know that for a fact, but I don't know what other colors are going to go away, but we'll get some new colors as well that'll be available. Sure. When will Ranger be produced? I ordered in mid-December. Thanks. Ordered in December. I'm not sure. I know that really it's kind of like the others. I mean, it's allocation process and getting in line of getting those, and just depends on who else in front of you at your particular dealership and different things like that. But they will hopefully start scheduling in April for Ranger production right now. But if you're not scheduled yet, it's probably going to be at least April before you can get scheduled for probably a May or June production month. So could be a little while yet for you. What is the difference between the all-season and all-terrain tires? So all-terrain is going to be more of aggressive tread, so you can go inclement weather, snow, better traction that way, and that kind of thing. So just better traction and such. All-season typically will get you a little bit better fuel economy based on the tread and such. But yep. So, and on the Maverick, I think the only ones that get the all-terrain tires is your FX4 package and your 4K tow package, by the way. So, by the way, the vehicles that came in this week, or that came in today, I actually went out and grabbed some pictures of a couple of them. I was going to put them on the live stream and forgot. We had most of the ones that came in. I will tell you, not many of them have the luxury package. 1 out of 6 had a luxury package on it. The rest of them were pretty much, without them. Most of them didn't have the Copilot 360 either. So, but the one that did have the luxury package was an EcoBoost as well. So it was probably a much later EcoBoost order. So just, that's kind of what you're looking at right there. All right. Johnny said eruption green. Yes. We saw, here, I'm going to actually, no, they're on my phone. We got a Bronco today in the eruption green. Outer Banks thing looks gorgeous. I mean, it looks nice. I almost wish that my 21 Bronco got moved to 22 so I could get that color, but I mean, it looks pretty sweet. I mean, you guys have seen the eruption green, and that probably doesn't, camera through screen, right? Doesn't look the greatest, but yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's a nice color. Did see that the eruption green, I think, is the #1 color choice for 22 model year builds for the Bronco. So, so it's the new Area 51 is what I'm calling it. So. There's a couple Mavericks came in, so a couple Cactus Grays, right? 1 hybrid, 1 EcoBoost came in. They're right beside each other there, so pretty cool. There's our truckload of them right there. Came in, and this actually showed up on our group message for our sales staff. That was like, oh, that's coming in. I was still at home, so somebody had come in for work that day and saw them on there. So pretty cool. Got a Velocity blue Maverick that came in, a white. So, yep, pretty cool. And then I don't know the four that came in late, what they are, but anyway. All right, any other questions? Did I miss any questions? Go ahead and pop your question there if I missed it. Tag at Lon McArthur, all one word there, @ and Lon McArthur. And that way you kind of move it to the so I can see it and make sure I get that there. But I'm used to so many more questions than this. 4K has all-season tires. No, they're all-terrain tires. My daughter has a 4K tow package and it has all-terrain tires, and she doesn't have the FX4 package. The order guide shows, and maybe William, is your might be a good question if William, if you have a 4K and yours is all-season, but I believe that they were originally on the order guide is that if you had the front wheel drive with the 4K, you had the all-terrain tires, and then you had all season if you got the 4K with the all-wheel drive. But then I thought they changed that in the later order guide. That I might be wrong. I thought hers. I know she's got Pirellis. I thought they're all terrain tires. I could be wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. According to the order guide, 4K tow package says all season tires. You are right. Good job. All season tires. So she's got Pirellis, but they're not all terrain tires. So thank you. Thank you very much. Correcting me on that. So cool to see the photo of the car hauler. Mine will be delivered soon in Vermont. All right. Mavericks are scheduling this week. No, nothing's scheduling this week. My Velocity Blue Bronco came in, picking it up this weekend. Cool. It's a nice color too. And we had two other, like I said, late we had a bunch of Broncos come in. So I get these sheets. I get a sheet on when they get dropped off so that I can make sure anything that's not sold already gets put on the website. And Nautilus, sold Nautilus. I had sold Maverick for MJ. Don't know what to sell. I hadn't had a chance to look that one up. We got a Bronco Sport that's sold on Outer Banks. Let's see, Darren Smith had a Bronco come in. Mike Lett had a Bronco come in. Super Duty for Mike. Super Duty for Mitch. Nautilus, that's available for sale actually. Came in. And then Stevens Maverick came in. It's right there. And then Mike Lett had another Maverick come in for customer. I think it was a cactus gray one. One of the ones I showed in the picture. Mitch had one Maverick come in. Dan had a Maverick come in. Darren had a Maverick. Darren had a Bronco. The green Bronco was Darren Lee's customer. And then a Super Duty for Colin. So yeah, those are all the ones that came in, but I don't have the ones that came in at the end of the day. Haven't received that yet. There we go. So they're starting to come in, folks. And I know they said that there were a bunch in Kansas City. In fact, they had to put them in different lots. Typically, they have them in a couple different holding areas. Those are full up. They're moving them to some other lots. Even the Kansas City Chiefs parking lot, from what I think I heard. So as soon as we get shippers and get them here, we got a bunch that should come in. So maybe we will get our 80 Mavericks this month. That would be great. So order Maverick Lariat Luxury in August. Do you think it will be built this year? Lariat Luxury in August. John might need to know if it's an EcoBoost or a hybrid. Either way, yes. Either way, yes. Monica, you do such a great job going over everything. It answers a lot. Thanks. I am glad to help. Tim, I asked Mike Lett to skip the PDI on my Maverick. Actually, we can't do that. To leave the plastic. Oh, okay. PDI, it has to have an inspection, but cleanup, yes, they can leave the plastic on. In fact, it hasn't been cleaned up yet. It's getting the other stuff put on. So, yeah. So that's what you meant by PDI, but not leaving the plastic on and such. Okay. I thought you meant it can't be a pre-delivery inspection is PDI, so it has to be inspected. That has to be done by Ford's requirements there, so they have to inspect it, make sure everything's good, full of all the fluids and everything, all that kind of stuff. Put the antenna on, that kind of thing. That Bronco for Darren is mine. Oh, cool. Well, good. Glad it's going to someone that's in here with us. So the green one, Crazy World, is that one yours? I have and Clayton says, I have an order confirmed 11/8 for the Maverick Lariat with luxury package. Do you think the odds of getting it this year? I have an 11/8 for Maverick Lariat luxury. Again, EcoBoost or hybrid, that does make a difference in November, because if it's a hybrid with the Lariat luxury package, that might get pushed. But if it's an EcoBoost, shouldn't be no problem. Should be able to get that. If Mavericks are being scheduled this week, what are they doing with the one plant in Mexico that makes them? Only Broncos. Only Broncos? Let's see. The plant that makes the Mavericks also make the Bronco Sport. So see, that plant's going. So they're going to be scheduling Bronco Sport and Mavericks, both of them. So yeah, they're going to continue that. Broncos are actually made in Michigan. Oh, what are they going to do with? Are you saying what are they going to do with the plant that the Bronco is being built in? They have to be able to build something else. They have to be retooled and everything, and they can't really do that just to kind of help a model out. Plus, probably the parts aren't there in a big enough number for them to be able to make double right now of their production. All right, William says I have a Nautilus scheduled for 4/4. Should there be any issues? I don't think so. I think Nautilus edges are built in the same plant, if I remember right. I think somebody might be able to correct me on that. But, so I don't think it'll have too many issues because they're scheduling both of those. All right, Jim Farley said they are going to simplify Ford's fleet, cut down on options. Thoughts on this? I don't know, because there are going to be some people on some of those that want certain things for their business that they need for their people that are driving those vehicles. So I really don't know as if, that's, a good idea. So, I mean, I don't know. So, but I don't know. I guess I'm indifferent on that because I know there's certain people that want certain things. I think if they custom order, they should be able to order it how they want to their specifications. So anyway, all right. Oh, Velocity Blue that came in today. Okay, so not the green one that I saw. So, yeah, cool. All right, it looks good in Velocity Blue. Thanks, Tim, for clarifying that definition. Yeah, no problem. So I'll make sure that Mike knows that you want that plastic and everything left on. So I know it hasn't been cleaned up. We always do that last before it goes out. So I know that hasn't been done. So that shouldn't be a problem. Thanks, Tim, for do y'all accept X-Plan pricing for Maverick retail orders? Yes. I can't include any of our free shipping with our X-Plan because on X-Plan, you have to, all the pricing has to be there, a certain dealer fee for X-Plan and such. So you have to adhere to that. So I'm not able to do free shipping with the X-Plan, but yes, I can honor X-Plan. We would just have to pay for the shipping, that kind of thing. So I have an order confirmed 11/8 for Maverick Lariat with luxury. But do you think the odds of getting it this year? It is an EcoBoost. Okay, yeah, I think you're really good there. For one, I know Lariat Luxury is like the last thing on the list that you need to try to kick. In fact, I went through today. We have 97 orders that we need that have some of the constraint items that Ford says that we need to contact our customers for. I'm like leaning forward. And so actually going to be going through with the sales guys to reach out to the customers. Some of them I recommend they just leave them, but if you have one or the other, a lot of our orders we're looking at that. But when it comes to if they have both, I'm actually not even looking at those. I'm like bypassing those because I think if you have both, especially if it's an XLT and you have the luxury package and the Copilot 360, Ford's not saying that you should take those off. I think they're more likely to give those orders special treatment to get those than ones that have one or the other. So they're really trying to get you to take off one or the other. Lariat Luxury requires you to get the Copilot 360. So that's something that, I know that's like number 9 and 10 on the list. So the recommendation is if you want to get it scheduled to take off one of those items, I guess you can't take off the luxury package without taking off the Copilot 360. So their recommendation was take off the luxury package and leave the Copilot 360, or take off the Lariat Luxury and the Copilot 360, both. So, but I think you're an EcoBoost order. I think you're sitting in pretty good shape. So, do you know how many hours a day it takes from time a vehicle starts on the assembly line to when it rolls off at the end? I don't know that. Great question, but I don't. I order Lightning and Smoke Quartz. Good color. Have you seen that color in person? No, I have not, but it looks good in videos I have seen. Way different than the builder pictures. I wondered about that. That's a color I chose, was the Smoke Quartz for mine, only available in the Lariat trim. On the Lightning, I'm not sure. I would like to see that in person. I know it's available in 22 F-150, but I haven't seen any that have come in yet with that color. But if I do, I'll get a picture and make sure I put it on the stream here, because yeah, it'd be good to see some of those colors. Just like when I saw the Cactus Gray in person, I was like, I almost switched from the Area 51 to Cactus Gray because it looks so good in person the pictures online just did not do it justice. And so I'm hoping Smoke Quartz is the same way. Hopefully I really will like it in person. Tim, can a retail order get the Police Interceptor package in an Explorer? Don't believe so. In fact, I'm pretty sure it probably can't. Most of the Police Interceptors are being ordered at Fleet, and they're going to be ordered Fleet anyway. They won't want to order it as a retail. All right. Will a Maverick Luxury Eco ordered in January get built in 22? Well, Maverick Eco, well, XLT or Lariat, what makes a difference there, but probably pretty good chances if it doesn't have a luxury package. I mean, taking a luxury package off is more likely. More likely it's going to get pushed if you leave it on. Will the Lightnings make external sound when driving? It'll probably make, at low speeds, it'll probably make the little sound just like the hybrids do right now, I would assume, because it's alerting the pedestrians that you're running because it's so quiet. So I'm sure it will. In fact, let's refer to the order guide. Well, there's a lot here. I don't know. Might take me a little while to find it. Oh, wait, it's not standard features. I'd probably have to do some looking here. I would assume it's just, I'm almost positive it's gonna be just like it is on the hybrid versions. Right now on even the hybrid Maverick makes that sound. There you go. Audible vehicle alert system alerts pedestrians. So yes, that's what I thought. Okay. Considering the order time to delivery this past year, any guess as to the time frame for the Mavericks on the 23 model year? I mean, it depends on how many orders are pushed to 23 that are going to need to get pushed or are going to need to get built early 23. If somebody orders in August for a 23, we know the first ones are going to start hitting dealerships not until November and starting being produced in October. So that gives you some timeline. But you know, there's a lot that has to happen yet. And keep in mind, for those of you that are like already asking, wondering, well, I need to be thinking about pushing my 22 order to 23. Well, let's not go that far yet, because remember, we still have 6 months of production left. So we have March, April, May, June, July, August. 6 months of production yet at least 5,500 units a month. And so somebody that's good at math, what's that? 30,000 units is still going to get built. So yours could be one of those 30,000 and not get pushed to 2023. So let's not rush to that yet. I mean, we'll look at that when we get the last scheduling that happens and people aren't scheduled yet and don't have a scheduled date. Then we can start thinking about that and start looking towards that. But until we get an order guide, there's not much we can really talk about anyway. And I'm sure once those emails go out, then they're going to start alerting dealerships of what's going to happen when moving those orders over, what kind of price protection and that kind of thing is going to happen. So we can do that there. So I read that Ford and Global Foundries will be working together to produce microchips. I had heard they were working on that, but I didn't hear, you know, what the possibility of that was, but hopefully they hurry, right? So, all right, need to bow out for the night. Well, June, have a good night. Thanks for joining us tonight. All right. Any other questions there? Tim, will first editions be delivered until November or December? No. First editions have to be built for as a 22 model year. So that means that they are going to be produced this year. And let's say August is the last month they produce vehicles. They should show up in dealerships no later than September at the very latest. So some of the last vehicle 22 builds should be showing up at dealers in September. And so we should still see vehicles 22s being delivered into the month of September, I would think. So you said no vehicles are scheduled this week. What about Lightning? Well, Lightnings aren't being, I don't know about Lightning, to be honest. They didn't mention it because it's kind of by allocations, but it may be next week anyway, because I think last week is when they started to schedule Wave 2 orders. So maybe next week is when they're going to schedule Wave 3 orders. I'm not sure. But I just know that they haven't been mentioning Lightning, to be honest, on when it's scheduling. Even most production weeks, they have not been including it into that, because those orders are already put in, and then I don't know, they just get scheduled, I guess, when they get scheduled, because they're doing it a little differently on those. So I'm not sure when those are going to get scheduled, but Wave 3 should be coming up. I think most of the people from Wave 1 and 2 are getting, I've been hearing some Wave 2 schedule dates on their Lightnings. So Wave 3 should be up next. So it might be next week. Who knows? Somebody knows. I just don't know. It's just a phrase I use. I throw it around and I'm like, don't think about how I use it. All right, Donald said XLT Luxury Eco. I might have missed the first part. I've been reading a lot of comments here. Sorry. What month was it? July? Or January? I'm not sure. All right. Ace said, should I just wait for a 23 Ranger? Well, here's my philosophy on that. About people, like I've had some people on Bronco say that too. I'm like, I'm just going to cancel my Bronco order because I'm tired of waiting. Well, here's what's going to happen if you cancel yours and you wait until all of them produced, right? You could be in the middle of that. So you could, let's say you're towards the end of it, and you would have been, if you left it in there, you would have been produced this summer, right? Whereas if you cancel it and then you wait till 23 opens up, then you're put back in line with everybody else, and you're going to be waiting again. Whereas instead, get that order in and just let it be in there, and just, if you don't stress over it, if you're, instead of waiting. So that's just kind of my way of a 22 versus a 23 is put the order in, and if it doesn't get scheduled with your configuration or whatever, but you really want that configuration, then just if it does then get pushed to 23, it's not the end of the world, but at least you'll be first in line for 23 if it does get pushed over to 23, and it's going to be the way you want it to. And sometimes it is a blessing. I mean, look at the people that ordered the Eruption Green that are like, I've heard a lot of people are like, they're kind of glad their late 21 got pushed to 22 because they end up getting an Eruption Green, and they like that color better than the other colors that were available. So every model year, Ford will put out new changes to each year. So just like in the Ranger this year, let's look at the Ranger. So Ranger, it has new product changes for this year. They had the new packages. Let's see here. It says new or changed. So the Splash Edition packages, the Snow Edition, the Forest Edition, the Sand Edition, those were not available last year. The Trimmer Off-Road package with the graphics, was, I think, maybe added this year, maybe not. That's just some changes, I think. But there's some new options that are available. 22 F-150 last year did not have a black appearance package available in 21, but in 22, in fact, the only changes, to be honest, the reason I didn't do what's new for 22 F-150 was because nothing really changed other than some new colors. Got new colors. We got Kodiak Brown, Guard is back. Oh wait, those are deleted colors. I guess F-150 only got one new color, Atlas Blue, but yet I think I heard Smoke Quartz was supposed to be an F-150 color. But then also they said new packages for this year: STX Black Appearance Package, XLT Black Appearance Package, Lariat Black Appearance Package, Platinum Black Appearance Package, Bed Utility Package, which those are all actually bed utility packages, I think, available last year, but I think they changed something in that package. But a lot of times still a new model year will get new packages, and there may be an appearance package next year. So there may not be the first edition package, but we may have other packages next year. So 23 is not new for the Ranger next year for the United States. By the way, Ace. So that was released. 23 new redesign for 23 Ford Ranger in Europe, coming to us. I don't believe it's going to be a 23 because I think the 23 is being released in Europe this summer as a 23, and it'll be a 23 in Europe. And I believe when it comes to the United States, it'll be actually in the 24 model year. I believe. So here, let's Google it. Might have to do some research. The global version is what you see here, which is the new one. But Ford CEO confirmed this off-road pickup is U.S. bound in 2023, which that'd be in the year of 2023, not as a 23, I believe. Ford has revealed the new Raptor version of the mid-size pickup. So, yeah, and I think I actually read this one week. I talked about that. It says, when is the new Ford Ranger coming to America? Ford recently revealed the updated global Ranger pickup and just dropped a major bombshell. The new Ranger is getting Raptor version that's finally coming to the United States in 2023. So I believe, though, it's going to come to in 23, but it'll be a 2024. Because I think the tweet that Jim Farley had, does it show the tweet in here? Is saying that it would be a year after that. So, not sure. Again, I was wrong earlier tonight, so I could be wrong in this too. Not sure, but it'll be really cool when it does come. So, just making more room for the bigger engine for the Raptor version there. So, but I'm pretty sure that I'm correct on that. I'm not sure, but always fact check me, because I like to be accurate. So give you all the accurate information. Spring of 23 as a 24 for the Ranger. That's what I was thinking, but sure. So, all right. Anything else? It is 8:30. Usually I try to kind of close it down about this time. I appreciate you guys being in here and asking your questions and chatting with me here. So again, I appreciate you. So again, if you're not subscribed, don't forget, hit the red subscribe button down below so you can get subscribed to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you can get notified when we have a new video uploaded. We're going to have a video go live tomorrow. It's on the Escape SE, so depends on my schedule tomorrow night. I might try to sometimes I've been trying to do those as premiere videos so that I can be in there and chat with you guys while the video goes live. A lot of those I have Sarah editing them, and I'm not looking through them before I have them go live. I know I've kind of told her what she needs to do. Actually, on the Raptor the other day, I forgot, on the Bronco Raptor, I forgot to include an image I told her I was going to do, and I forgot to tell her about that. So that was my bad on that. But so sometimes I like to watch along with you guys. If you guys like that, I'll try to do a premiere video so that I can watch it with you, and then just chat right there if you want to watch it with me. And as the video premieres, and then go from there. But I'll try to do that. The Escape SE won't be too long. I think it's 30 minutes long, if I remember right, from that. So let's, I can't go in here now. So, but yeah, let's look here. I can do it over here. I think it's about 30 minutes long. Let's look. Boom, content. All right, let's see here. Oh, it's taking too long, probably because I'm on here. But anyway, I think it's about 30 minutes long, so I can... 36 minutes. So it's 36 minutes long, so I might watch that with you guys tomorrow night if you guys don't mind. So that's going to be available if you want to look at the 22 Edge. Did I just say Escape? I meant Edge. 22 Edge SE tomorrow. Not too much different than last year. A couple little things that are new for this year, but there is a new package for 22 on the SE, so we'll talk about that in that video. But anyway, so again, thanks for watching, guys. I really appreciate it. Don't forget, you guys are probably all subscribed, so I appreciate that. Don't forget to smash the like button as you leave. I'd really appreciate it. And if you're not a member, want to be a member, the link is down in the description, as well as some other links to those different articles. And after this video processes, I'm actually going to chop out the beginning. So if you want to come back and watch this later, it'll start right away. Don't have to fast forward any, and we're going to start doing that. I did that last week, but hopefully you guys, I can do that this week as well. I'll do that tonight before I leave. So hope you guys really enjoyed it. Johnny, thanks for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys on the next one. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you later. See you next week.